Well, first up to our special focus this evening. Hope fades rapidly for those 8 workers trapped in that tunnel at the Srisailam Left Bank Canal in Nagarkurnool district of Telangana. The dramatic and daunting rescue efforts by the NDRF continues. 5 teams of the NDRF have gone into the tunnel, but the latest reports suggest some dramatic increase in slush levels causing grave concerns there. Australian experts, according to our reporters, say the area is unsettled. Marine commandos, rat miners are on standby there. We're about 59 hours since the crisis broke out and the 8 workers were trapped, and there are serious concerns now of the safety of the rescue workers as well. My colleague Uma Sudhir was there at that site of the rescue work and sent in this report earlier in the day from that site.
The Telangana government is sparing no effort in trying to find the 8 people who have been trapped inside the SLBC tunnel at the accident site since Saturday morning. Now the NDRF, Army, the SDRF and the state police and fire teams have been joined also by the naval commandos, the Maricos as they are called, plus also those people who had helped in the rescue at Uttarakhand. The rat miners have also come in and tunnel experts have also come in. This is quite different from what happened in Uttarakhand, because we are talking about a tunnel that is meant to be the world's longest tunnel at 44 kilometers, but with no vertical or any other openings anywhere in the length of the tunnel. And it is the inlet side that we are talking about, where 14 kilometers has been dug this side. From the outlet side, about 20 kilometers has been dug, and it's in between 9.5 kilometers where a lot of seepage of water is happening, and that's where at about 13.5 kilometers where the digging is happening in the 14th kilometer. That's where the tunnel borer machine in fact is stuck, and muck and water has reached a height of almost 21 to 22 feet. The entire diameter is only about 9 meters, which so we are talking about 27 feet is the height of the tunnel itself, and that's where the hopes are dimming, because there has been no contact with the 8 people either over phone or even if the rescue team is going in there and calling out names, they have not been able to hear anything. The conveyor belt which has been built till there actually collapsed as well. The only good part is the oxygen vent still seems to be running through, and whether that will help those people survive, at least that is the hope of the authorities as they are continuing with the rescue operations there. They say that only when the excavation of the mud happens, they may be able to see more or get a better idea of what exactly is the situation at the site. But the locos which are running all that distance of about 13 kilometers, they are taking all the necessary material, men and material. They are working in different shifts so that they don't tire themselves out, and the other team can come in and start off where the other has ended the operation, so that there is no time that is lost in trying to ensure that these 8 people are found. Of course, in all of this exercise, I must point out that there has been multiple agencies at work. There's also politics doing the rounds about whether such a tunnel made sense in the first place, but the Congress government, which started the project in 2006, says that it makes full sense, because without a recurring cost, just the gradient of the water was going to be used to irrigate a large area and provide potable water, fluoride-free water to a big population. Sir, you are there inside the tunnel, very near the site where the accident has happened, the collapse has happened. Yeah. What is the situation looking like, sir?
75 meters away from the last DBM boring point. Just 50 meters away, just 50 meters.
Okay.
50 meters away from the boring point. I think the total collapse is buried in another 10-15 minutes abroad. Will come to know.
Okay.
So chances are very dim, it seems.
Of any survival?
Chances are very dim.
Well, Uma Sudhir now joins me live with the latest from there. Also with us this evening, Mr. Naveen Kumar Bhatnagar, former DIG of the NDRF, and Dr. Ajay Kumar Nathani of the National Institute of Rock Mechanics here in Bengaluru. Thanks to both of you for joining us. But first to you, Uma. What's the latest you're hearing as far as the rescue efforts are concerned? You were pointing to some dramatic changes in the situation there on the ground.
So day 3 has brought in certain news that is of great concern to those people who are working there and the government here as well, because experts have now said that the amount of slush inside and the water that is coming in could actually be going up. The first 2 days, they had brought in the NDRF, SDRF, the army and other, people, experts, tunnel experts to come and look at the situation and devise the best possible strategy here. But today, the inputs that are coming in from the experts seems to suggest that the slush has actually gone up. NHIDCL, an expert from NHIDCL, Mr. Anshul, has in fact reportedly said that from the roof, if there was about 7 to 8 feet earlier when he went on the second trip, second team that went in, the fourth team that went in, that in fact arrived only this morning back from the site of the accident, he has reported that now there is hardly 2 to 3 feet distance that is there, which means that there could be either a sudden breakage or a gradual increase in the amount of water and slush mud that is coming in there. Now there is also a cavity that's formed on top, which means there could have been something sudden that fell there, and therefore the Australian expert also, Mr. Chris Cooper, has also suggested that that place seems to be unstable and not settled yet, and therefore it may be risky to carry out any intensive operation. Today we were reporting about how gas cutters have been sent in to try and break some of that metal of the tunnel boring machine in order to be able to go ahead. Tunnel boring machine, I must point out, Veera, that is almost like a 3-storied kind of a building inside, 200 meters in length, and many parts of it in fact were blown away or washed away to a distance of 200 meters. So the impact of that phenomenon is something that that was spoken about by many of these experts. But now the worry is if the slush and the water is going up. Even otherwise, 3,200 liters per minute is what I'm told water comes in. That is something quite normal when a tunnel is dig here and they are dewatering continuously. But if the mud is going to come in, they are worried that any kind of an intensive digging or excavation of the mud may lead to more of a fall, and that could create a risk for the NDRF or the response teams itself, which are going in. And therefore today, Marine Commandos still put on a standby, because now it's not so much water but more muddy area that we are talking about. Rat miners also put on a standby, and reports have been sought from both the NRSA as well as the GSI to find out if there are any fault lines there which will require them to actually stop the operations at this time or look at some other strategies at this point in time. Back to you, Veera.
Right. Mr. Bhatnagar, you just heard what Uma was narrating to us as information that she's receiving from the ground. What's your own sense? Because each tunnel, each operation has its own challenges. There is the safety of the rescue workers also that needs to be considered. What do you think would be the key challenge? And in terms of hope itself, 59 hours down the line for the workers, how would you view the situation at the moment?
So we are using almost all the equipment which we have, and we can use in such type of disasters in situations like your micro camera and other equipments also. And also by side we are trying to put another pipe through which we can supply the food and other require equipments and food and other items, so that starvation should not be there for these 8 personals. Otherwise, there will be a heavy complication to have their life succeeded. So anyhow, all the efforts we are doing, our NDRF, Army, SDRF, and all the agencies are doing their best, even then L&T people and Army people. All are making their efforts to find out the exact location and the situation of these laborers, which is not, we are not succeeded to find out the exact location and the condition of these laborers, because there are
Right.
chances for this
Right.
dehydration, as well as other complication also due to this water stagnation. And there is a heavy mud inside
Right.
that tunnel, which is another challenge for us to make this rescue operation successful. Anyhow, our efforts are going on, and
Right.
we hope that very shortly we will get it good news. But let us hope for the good, and pray from the God also. Yeah.
That's right. Let's hope and pray for the best possible outcome in this. Dr. Naithani, there are tunnels in the Himalayas where we've carried out rescue operations. Each tunnel has its own different dynamics. As far as this is concerned, it's a left bank canal tunnel. What would be key challenges geologically in this area?
So actually, if you see, this Telangana is mainly different from the Himalayan terrain. And as your reporter, Madam Uma, told that this is around 40-kilometer long tunnel. But if you remember this thing in this state itself, we have made a more than 50-kilometer long tunnel for the Devadula lift irrigation scheme. That is in the northern districts of the Telangana in the Warangal area. But the only thing is that during the construction of that tunnel also, we faced a lot of the problems, and that is mainly because of the ingress of the water. Whether the Himalaya or the southern part of the India, the similarity is the heavy ingress of the water. Maybe along that section, the tunnel section, may we have some reservoir, natural reservoir, or some paleo reservoir. So ingress of the water is a very natural, because sometimes the water table will be high, but the ingress of the water along with the slurry, it means that it has intercepted with the weak zone. Whenever we are making any structure, whether the Himalaya or any part of the country, when we are making the structure in the mother, that forecasting should be proper. If we don't have any sort of the forecasting, because the method of the tunneling for this tunnel, it is being made by the tunnel boring machine. Well, the other tunnels, the tunnel is being made by the drill and blast methods. So again, we have a different type of the methodology and support system. Only means that one should try to understand that why this collapse. The collapse is very simple, that whatever the support is recommended at the stage of the investigation, or the support of this around 9-meter diameter tunnel, the support system was not enough to take the load, whatever it has come during the failure. Means the load was taken, it was the dry load, means water was taken into the concentration. Now you remember that the weak zone in the mother, the weak zone, whether we call it as the fault or the shear zone or the fold, for the engineers, all are the weak zone or the discontinuities in the mother. So that if that they are the recharge zone for the water, and suppose that pressure is not taken into the consideration, then definitely failure will be there. And if the failure is there, all of sudden heavy ingress means up to the threshold value, that whatever the support, because in the TBM system and the DBM, as I told you, the tunnel boring machine on drill and blast method for making the tunnels, support systems are different. And for the TBM, mainly the precast, whatever the liner are provided, that is based on whatever the load is assumed at the DPR stage of the investigation for that particular area. And during the TBM again, if the forepoling, what I'm telling, that the natural process of the tunneling is ahead of the, at least from the phase 20-meter minimum, we should know the groundwater condition. And these probe holes being done to know the groundwater condition. If these are not done properly and not assessed, what I'm telling, sir, the tunneling is a art. It is not a science. Because why it is called an art, where your engineering judgment and experience count a very
absolutely
a very high value.
Absolutely important points that you're making there. For the moment, though, the real challenge is about slush. We'll keep a close watch of it. Thanks very much to the two of you for joining us here. We will keep a close watch of those rescue efforts and get you the latest on that.